Okay, hi, my name is Brianna Worthy, and today I'm going to be discussing my own visual observation of an evidence-based curriculum to a group of 12 to 17-year-olds. I observed the Be Proud, Be Responsible curriculum with Stanley Wade on April 7th, 2016 at the Sidney P. Housing Community Center around, it was class started at 5 o'clock and ended at 6:30. The piece that I observed of the learning experience is actually a small piece of an 8-hour workshop session. So the kids meet 4 times for 2 hours. Curved in that 2 hours is an hour and a half of actual education delivered, and twice a week for 2 weeks the kids go back to these sessions. So this was session 2 of the 4-session workshop. The first in-text citation I would like to deliver is by Obie and Sapp. Teachers must teach and assess standards using authentic assessment instruments. And I chose to do this observation because of just that. It is an evidence-based curriculum, meaning the strategies that they use to teach kids are only strategies that have been proven to work. So the goal of the curriculum is to teach kids between the ages of 12 and 17 to reduce their risky behavior with sexual activity. So it's basically a sexual education course where preteens and teens learn about how to prevent themselves from getting an STD, HIV, how to stop passing it if you do have a sexually transmitted disease. It is an abstinence plus program, so they deliver abstinence information and educate the learners that abstinence is the only 100% way and the most surefire way to prevent these sexual diseases. But it also teaches contraceptives and condom use skills. So it's additional information on top of abstinence. Some assessment strategies that were utilized. There was definitely a dynamic assessment approach because there is a pre-test and a post-test. The things that I liked about the pre and post-test are they're anonymous, so you don't know whose pre-test it is once it's turned in. And the reason that I think that it's good that it's anonymous for these pre-tests is because it's not assessing the information that they know as far as what are the 4 body fluids that are HIV transmittable, whether they know that information beforehand and whether they don't know that information after, but more so in the past 3 months, have you been sexually active? And then in the post-test asking, in the next 3 months, do you plan to be sexually active? Or if you plan to be sexually active, do you plan to use condom use? Or do you plan to abstain? So that can kind of be a good and a bad thing, because you're not learning you don't have a physical paperwork to discuss whether they know information that you want them to know, but you know where their mind is and where they stand as far as how much more likely they will be using the information that you taught them. There's also a standardized assessment strategy. there are specific readings that the educator has to read verbatim from an instructor's manual, so that the test is administered the same way with the same wording to every learner that comes across the curriculum. Another in-text citation by Obie and Sapp: standardized testing can be excessive and rely on testing and grades. In this light, standardized testing I see as a positive, because throughout the whole curriculum there's so many different strategies that can be used for different learners, as far as whether you're watching a video or listening to an instructor that you relate to, or you're participating in an activity as a group. Different methods of learning are available for different type of learners, but specific information such as data, facts, since we're talking about such a sensitive subject, the instructor's stance on as far as preteens or teenagers or minors being sexually active, there's certain stuff that does need to be read verbatim with such a touchy subject. So I think it's good that that piece is standardized. There is no measurement assessment or grading scale for what the learners have learned or where they are with their learning. So that would definitely be a con to the observation. The only grading scale that actually occurs is during the workshop. There's a piece where the kids are role-playing, and the students who aren't role-playing, so that they're participating as well, are grading them referencing a tool that they call the STOP technique. And so STOP is an acronym: say no, talk it out, offer an explanation, and provide alternatives. So they're grading them on a scale of 1 to 5 of if they did the S, the T, the O, the P. But again, the actual person in the role play doesn't receive the information back from the other students. Only the students in the audience actually see where they're grading it. So that's why I say there was really no measurement assessment. And lastly, what I'll talk about is that it has a very authentic assessment approach, because again, using an in-text citation from Obie and Sapp, authentic assessment learning demonstrates skills used to schedule life problems. And with the role playing, they're taking the information that was learned throughout the lesson and then actually acting it out in a scenario which when they are acting, is very similar or very relevant to their life, as far as their language that they use in the role play, as far as the scenarios that they're put in, whether they're in the mall or at school or in their room or something. So it allows them to put themselves in a real life experience, as well as there's a piece of it when they are checking off myths or facts. They're reading a statement and learning whether that is a myth or a fact, and they get to take that paper home with them. So it's something that they can share with their friends and other teens who were not in the program, as far as, did you know that this was true or false about sexually transmitted diseases or HIV, whichever the myth or fact pertain to. So it's something that they've learned inside the classroom that they can then take out with them into the world and can be useful. Again, talking really quick about how it was a con that there was no measurement assessment. You want to have a measurement assessment because, according to Obie and Sapp, Measuring mastery of specific skills can strengthen the student. If I could use different strategies in the Be Proud, Be Responsible curriculum, I would have a direct assessment of the actual information for a pre and post test to know information they did know before coming to the classroom and information they didn't know once leaving the classroom, which is not available in the curriculum. And I wanted to make a comment on a favorable outcome that I know is in another part of the lesson that I wasn't available for. During the Be Proud, Be Responsible curriculum, they actually watch a video of how to put on a condom. Then they hear the steps from the actual instructor how to put on a condom. Then they watch the instructor put on a condom on their forefinger and middle finger as a demonstration. Then they actually themselves open a condom and put on a condom on their middle and forefinger using the appropriate steps. And then as a group, using flashcards with the steps pre-printed on the flashcards, they lay them in order. So it's teaching someone something, allowing them to demonstrate it back to you and fully understand it, and then even be able to share with other students and repeat for the world. Overall, I had a really good experience observing the curriculum because I am also a facilitator of the curriculum, so watching someone else do it only strengthens things that I do with my own classes and things that I want to change to better my classes that I teach myself. Thank you.